here. First of all, folks, I just wanted to thank you again for and welcome everyone to this commission meeting today. But also thank you very much to everyone just taking their time and their continued effort and support of the commission and what we're doing. And also, I just want to take a brief moment to congratulate our president and vice president today, and their amazing accomplishment. And hopefully we can all move forward together and continue to build and become better. So thank you very much. I'm going to turn off my camera here really quick, folks, as I just address the agenda items, but I will be back, so bear with me. All right. All righty. So now, if my computer doesn't freeze, pardon me. Hold on. Okay. All right, so first, I would like to do roll call for this afternoon's meeting. I will start, and then if we could just go around and Denise, if you don't mind just directing kind of the roll call so people aren't cutting each other off, that would be great. But we'll start.
Sure. Let's start with Commissioner Betts.
Okay.
I need to ask a question real quick. Yes, I'm Commissioner Betts, but are we supposed to be identifying from where we are at this meeting? I don't know if you all heard, but there was a new mandate that people who are in meetings, on Zoom meetings like commissions and things like that, have to state their name and state their location. Is that?
Yes, I think that's correct. I think we do have to do that. Am I correct on that, Denise?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay, I heard that at a board meeting. We're supposed to be starting that this month. So just in case, I'm going to cover my behind.
Okay.
And I'm Kathleen Mozak Betts, and I'm a commissioner, and I live in Ann Arbor, and that's where I'm Zooming from.
Okay. I'm Denise Janess. I'm staff liaison, and I'm Zooming from home in Oak Park. Commissioner Gossage?
I'm Commissioner Alex Gossage, and I am Zooming from my home here in Ann Arbor.
Commissioner Hall?
Commissioner Tim Hall, Commissioner. I'm here coming from Ann Arbor.
Commissioner Keeler?
Commissioner Keeler, Ann Arbor, home.
And Councilwoman Nelson?
Elizabeth Nelson, Council Liaison. I'm Zooming from Ann Arbor.
Okay, we have guests Taylor Thornton and Katie. Oh, she's muted. Katie's
I'm here.
Okay.
All right, welcome. And folks, I'm Zach Damon, the chairman of the Commission on Disability Issues, and I'm Zooming from my apartment in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
All right, wonderful. Great. Okay, next we have the approval of today's agenda. So of course, per usual, Denise was gracious and did send out copies of the agenda to everyone. Hopefully all of you guys have an opportunity, or had an opportunity rather, to review that. If you have not, I'd like to give a few minutes just for you guys to review today's agenda. If there are any corrections, any amendments, anything that is misspelled, anything that is not correct, you can do so and let us know at this time.
I have two corrections. One under 4A, it's Traverwood, Traverwood. And then under number 6, under the report, FlexRide is available. It said FlexRide is available on weekends. It should be is now available on weekends, because I fear that people are going to think it's only on weekends. It was on weekdays and then we added weekends. So if we can make that a little bit more clear, that would be great.
Sure, I'll add those changes.
Thank you, Kathleen. I'll give a few more minutes, and if there are any other additional corrections or comments about today's agenda, please let us know. All right, if there are not any other additional comments or corrections on the agenda, I would like to move to approve today's agenda with the corrections that were mentioned, as Denise will be updating that. So is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll move to approve.
All right, Larry will move to approve, and Elizabeth, were you seconding?
Yep.
All right, Elizabeth seconds. All in favor to approve today's meeting agenda with the corrections added mentioned by Kathleen from Denise, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
All right. The agenda is approved. All right. Moving forward, we have the approval of the meeting minutes from the December meeting. So I'd like to just take a minute to address that and discuss that as well. Did any of you not get the December meeting minutes? And if you had not, please let myself or Denise know, and we can send you those meeting minutes at this time to review. Or if we could just take a minute or two to review those at this time, that would be great.
So if I could, what I gave before wasn't for the agenda, it was the meeting minutes, and I so apologize. for
Oh,
that.
okay.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
just changed that to minutes. That's okay.
yeah, number 4A, it should be Traverwood, and then 6F would be the correction. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I see what you meant as well. And I was looking at the minutes. I wasn't looking at the agenda. So
Well, in my
I
brain,
was
it's
trying to
supposed
find it on the agenda. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So yep, sorry about that, folks. But yes, thank you, Kathleen. That is a correction for the December meeting minutes, not for the agenda. Thank you. Okay, so are there any other corrections of the meeting minutes for December? Please speak up at this time. Okay. With that being said, with the corrections, is there an approval to approve the corrected December meeting minutes from today with the corrections that the commission mentioned? Is there a motion to approve the corrected December meeting minutes?
I'll move to approve again.
All right, Larry moves to approve. All right, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, Tim seconds. So all in favor of approving the meeting minutes with the corrections mentioned by Kathleen today, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Great. Okay, so the corrected meeting minutes for December are approved. Great. All right, really quick, I saw that Debbie had a raised hand. Were you just trying to get in, Debbie? Are you there? Okay, I think maybe she's still on mute and trying to get things
Let
taken
me
care of.
unmute it.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that she's and joining us.
Okay.
All right. Since Rachel joined us, Rachel, could we just have you just say your name and where you're zooming from today?
Rachel Watkins. I am zooming from Michigan Medicine right now. So 1500.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, welcome. All right. Okay. So moving on, we have some presentations. And of course, I do apologize, folks. I know it says Ann Arbor Housing Commissioner Jennifer Hall, but she will not be presenting today. She will be presenting at a different meeting. Did we determine, Denise, when she'll be presenting, or is that still to be determined?
Well, she's available for April, but I just have to work out the arrangements because we already have a presentation booked for April. So
Okay.
I'm going to see maybe if I can work with her schedule for March or May.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
But the questions that were presented to her, she will send back to the commission next week and I will pass on to you.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Moving on to the next agenda item then, I would like to move on to the next presentation. We have Katie Monkevich with the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled. So welcome, Katie.
Hi, thanks for having me. Good to see you all. I have some updates about the Ann Arbor District Library. All AADL locations are currently open for contactless pickup by appointment. The MEL service, Michigan e-library service, will be returning on January 25th. Our shelf service resumed this week. You can request books, movies, music, or any combination of items based on interest, theme, age level, or whatever criteria you choose. You just fill out the form at aadl.org and library staff will pull a curated selection of items just for you. You can also always contact us via our website or phone, and we can suggest titles that you might like to request. We have added board games and puzzles to our collection. Board games are now requestable from the catalog and will start circulating soon. A few puzzles are already in the catalog with more arriving later in the year. Each game or puzzle can be checked out for 4 weeks and renewed one time. We have improved our parking lot Wi-Fi. New Wi-Fi access points are now operating in the parking lots at Mallett's Creek, Westgate, Traverwood, and Pittsfield branches to make it easier to use our high-speed internet access outside of the buildings. 24 hours a day, no login or library card required. Our winter game has begun. Go to play.aadl.org to look for daily recommendations of things to watch, listen to, read, and do, plus puzzles, riddles, and online scavenger hunts for points towards the summer game 2021. The winter game is fun for all ages, and everything in the winter game can be done from the comfort of your own home. Couple reminders. You can submit something for posting on our branch bulletin boards at bulletinboards@aadl.org. You can book a Zoom meeting room for up to 2 hours and 1,000 attendees by emailing bookazoom@aadl.org. We have printing services available. Forms to fill out for printing can be found at aadl.org, or you can give us a call. If you have an essential task that requires you to go online, but you don't have a computer or a way to access the internet, we may be able to help. Call 734-327-4200 to get started. Some programs we have going on. We're still working on aadl.tv, our channel on YouTube, where we have board meetings, story times, crafts, book recommendations, trivia, and more. Right now, we're doing 30 days of clay mini menagerie. Each day for a month of January, we're demonstrating how to make a small clay animal with just a bit of clay. Each video shows you the different parts of the clay animal broken down into separate pieces, then how all those pieces are combined to make the final creation. We have recipe share. This week is dips and appetizers. It's actually tonight, Wednesday, January 20th, from 7 to 8 p.m. You can attend this virtual meetup to share and discuss your favorite dip and appetizer recipes. Participants can email their recipes to recipes@aadl.org to later receive a compilation of the recipes discussed at the event. This is an event series that's occurring every other Wednesday throughout the winter game. A new type of recipe is featured every session. So if you can't come tonight, you can come next week or in 2 weeks. We continue to host our Black Lives Matter discussion series with an event coming up next week. We have a film discussion about the movie Selma on Tuesday, January 26th from 6 to 7. We invite you to join AADL staff for a discussion of Ava DuVernay's 2014 film Selma. Selma is a chronicle of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s campaign to secure equal voting rights via an epic march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama in 1965. Moving on to library materials. Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled patrons can order digital cartridges by calling 734-327-4224 and leaving a message, or by emailing wlbpd@aadl.org. It's always a good time to sign up for the Braille and Audio Reading Download Service, BARD. WLBPD patrons can sign up at nlsbard.loc.gov or call us and we can assist with the application. Some titles just recently added to BARD are The Selected Works of Audre Lorde by Audre Lorde, a collection of essays and poems by the author of A Burst of Light, exploring being Black, a woman, a lesbian, and the intersection of those identities, edited by and includes an introduction from Roxane Gay, author of Bad Feminist. Tomboy, The Surprising History and Future of Girls Who Dare to Be Different by Lisa Davis. Drawing on her previously published op-ed for the New York Times, the author explores the history of girls defying societal expectations of gender, relies on the expertise of clothing designers, psychologists, historians, neuroscientists, and tomboys of all ages. This Is Your Time by Ruby Bridges. Civil rights activist Ruby Bridges, who at the age of 6 was the first African American to integrate an all-white elementary school in New Orleans, shares her story and offers a powerful call to action. And that's what I have for y'all today. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Well, I just have a comment, and I'd like to thank you again, Katie, for everything that you and the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled do. It's a tremendous, tremendous resource to the city and to the community. And, I've spent a lot of time there, growing up. And so, have a lot of great memories, but definitely excited for the Ann Arbor District Library.tv channel. So please keep us posted with, how that continues to launch and, the different programs that we'll be posting on there as well.
I will for sure. Thanks a lot.
Katie, I have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
They're related. First, can you repeat the phone number you gave for the technology assistance?
Yes, and that's the main library number. It's 734-327-4200.
Okay.
We have a call center is open from 12 to 8 p.m. People are answering that phone line.
And can you just say what that, what it is you're referring to? If folks have issues with or don't have access to technology or internet access, what you guys are able to provide or do?
Yeah, so some of the things that we've been able to do is like, actually we've ordered groceries for people online. I know that there are people who ask us to log into like financial websites and actually move some funds around. If they trust us enough to do that, we will do it. We've logged into employer accounts and printed pay stubs too. So that's just a couple of things that we've done. And it's just a very small group of people in the outreach department that do that. So there's like 6 of us that work on that project.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you all were trying to connect folks to technology like tablets or hotspots or things, or if it was something else. So thank you for that explanation.
That's a really good question, and the answer to that is not at this time.
Okay.
That's remarkable that you're actually having phone conversations with people who are giving you login information.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Because I thought the same thing, Katie, when you were bringing it up, as Alex discussed. I thought there was mainly probably just a Zoom tutorial or a Teams tutorial. But yeah, this is far more personal and far more in depth.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not so much connecting people to technology as us like sort of being the technology as people on the other end of a phone line.
Wow.
I'm curious really quick, like, is there, so it's basically just like a trust honor system thing. I presume there's really no, you know, anything else there. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm grateful that you guys are there to do the service, but it's also like, gee, you know, I just hope everyone is, you know, as far as them on the other end, you know, being forthcoming with you guys and making sure that all the information is put in correctly.
Yeah, it's definitely a new area for us. We're trying to, you know, be as safe and protective as we can with people's information, but it does definitely come down to whether or not a person decides that they want to trust us with that information.
Do they sign a waiver then for you to be able to do that, or how does that work?
It looks like her screen is
Yeah, I
frozen.
know. Well, no, that's okay. I was just wondering how that worked. I was fascinated.
How would they sign a waiver over the phone?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they would send it to them through the mail or like email it to them or something. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question.
It's really remarkable, though. I mean, if you can't trust somebody at the library, who can you trust?
Yeah, that's
You know, if that's the assistance you require,
right.
gosh, I'd rather ask for help from somebody from the library than just about anywhere else.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great service. I was just curious as to like, you know, what they do, how everyone is protected.
Well, it does seem like you'd need security, right?
Yeah,
It's a lot of trust. It's a huge amount of trust.
right. And especially with
Yeah, okay, technical difficulties. I'm back. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry about that. I was trying to say that there is a statement that we read over the phone to the patron, and we check a box basically saying that we, you know, a little disclaimer, I think.
No, that's awesome. I was just making sure that, you know, both parties, yeah, I just wanted to know how both parties were protected in that regard. But great, you know, amazing service that you guys provide, and that's awesome. Because like Councilwoman Nelson, she had a great comment before you rejoined, Katie. She goes, well, if you can't trust anybody in your hometown library, who can you trust?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I've got. Does anyone else have any questions or comments for Katie? All right. Well, thank you so much, Katie, and stay safe and continue to do awesome work.
Thanks a lot. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. So moving forward, we have Alex Gossage, the Executive Director for the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living.
Hi, thanks, Zach. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy New Year. It is good to see everyone's faces again. The CIL is definitely back in getting into the groove of things and has programming going up again. So I'll just mention a few things that went out in our newsletter that went out earlier today. We are still recruiting folks to participate in our Disability Community Action Lab program. So for folks who care about important issues facing our community, join us for DECAL, a collaborative group taking action on issues facing people with disabilities and providing support in making a difference. If you are interested in participating, please RSVP to Will Purvis, WPURVES at aacil.org. Our virtual art program is also back up and running, and that happens right now. It's happening on Wednesdays, which we're calling our original flavor virtual art studios, Wednesdays from 2 to 3. They'll be rotating through different media on a monthly basis. They explore new materials and techniques in a guided manner. No previous experience is necessary. This month, they are doing printmaking, and in February, they're going to be looking at comic book illustration. And then there's also a collaborative that is going on, for a space that we are working at in our organization. We have a couple conference room spaces And we're working at redesigning one with the program at the U of M School of Architecture. And if anybody's interested in learning more about that, you can RSVP to that, as well as you can RSVP to for the Original Flavor Virtual Art Studio to Claire Moore at cmore@aacil.org. The Universal Space Design workshop discussions will be happening February 1st through April 19th on Mondays from 10:30 to 12. Let's see, what else? Just a couple other things to mention real quick. Trivia Tuesdays is also happening every Tuesday from 1:30 to 2:30. You can RSVP to Anna at aacil.org. And then we are also continuing on with our virtual movie club, which is Fridays at 3 p.m. This week on Friday, they will be talking about the movie Hook. Next week is Walk, Ride, Rodeo. And the week of February 5th will be Catch Me If You Can. If you're interested in participating in that, please RSVP to Shannon Clark, sclark@aacil.org. And last but not least, we are hosting a virtual Super Bowl party. This is going to be, it looks like, prior to the Super Bowl. It's Thursday, February 4th from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. RSVP by January 28th to Mark Himes, mhimes@aacil.org. And as I've said before in the past, our office buildings do remain closed, but we are available by phone, internet, and conference technology like Zoom. So please feel free to contact folks for any kind of assistance at 734-971-0277, or you can email us at info@aacil.org. And that's what I have for today.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Alex at this time?
I have a quick question just because we happen to be in the same Zoom meeting. I got a question from the city administrator about somebody looking for handicapped accessible housing. And I directed Tom to talk to you. And I guess I was wondering, is that something that the Center for Independent Living, is that a topic that?
It's a topic that definitely comes up, and nobody's reached out to me specifically. If they've reached out to the CIL, we do try to direct folks to the resources that we have, but affordable accessible housing is probably the most challenging item that we face in terms of looking for it on a regular basis. But we're happy to provide what resources we can and talk through those topics when the issue comes up.
Okay.
But you can, if it's somebody specific and you'd like to refer them to me, you're more than welcome to do that. And they can just email me at alex@aacil.org, or they can give us a call on our number as well, and we'll direct them to somebody.
Yeah, I actually did do that. I just
Okay.
send me your email. I was like,
no problem.
Yeah.
Please feel free to do that.
Well, and on the affordable housing aspect of it, I just think it's important to point out that I think sometimes there's a disconnect, at least from my experience and others that I know, that there are different types of affordable housing too, right? There's the affordable housing that's income based and HUD certified, and then there's affordable housing that has a reduced housing rate. And so from my experience, what I've run into is that there are more properties that have a reduced housing rate rather than the income-based amount, which from my experience and others that I've dealt with, really that's what they're looking for. So hopefully they can find some resources and all that good stuff. But sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
No, I think that's a great point, Zach. And as well as there's different interpretations of what accessibility is. So when folks are looking, sometimes they'll be told by a landlord or somebody else that a place is accessible, and in fact it is not. So we are definitely there and available for folks. If they have any kinds of questions, we're happy to provide whatever resources and support that we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. And thank you for what you, as well as Anna and the staff of the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living, continue to do. You guys are really a pillar, in the Ann Arbor community. And as that sign says at the CIL, which I hope it still hangs, a home away from home. So hopefully that can continue to still be a good home for those in the disability community. So thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Moving forward, we have public comment, and I understand that there is a young woman joining us today. So do you mind, Taylor, just telling us your name, where you're from, and then kind of just talking about why you're joining us today?
Sure. My name is Taylor Thornton. I am in the master's program, social work program at the University of Michigan. I am tuning in from Bethlehem, Georgia. So I'm pretty far away right now. I just started working with Alex at the CIL today, and this just seemed like a good crash course, really, into getting to know the community, because I'm looking to do some community outreach.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what was it that, kind of captivated you to want to work with Alex and the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living? Like, what attracted you to sort of disability work?
Yeah, so I actually ended up attending Special Olympics in New Jersey, where I grew up. I think I was about 5 or 6. I was very, very young. And then I just sort of developed a passion for this community. I ended up working in recreation stuff around middle school. And I'm now 23, about to turn 24, and I've done it my whole life. I've done it internationally. Like I said, I've done recreation. And then I have a background in psychology, so I wanted to do clinical and counseling work. And in addition to that, I'm really interested in the advocacy and the policy side of it. And that's sort of what drew me to the CIL. That's an area that I feel like I haven't totally explored yet. And I think this is going to be a really good opportunity to do so.
Well, from my experience, I definitely agree with you, Taylor. And I just want to, first of all, welcome you. Thank you for joining us. And also, I just want to, thank you for what you've done in the past and then what you'll continue to do. And, from the way that you speak, it definitely seems evident to me that you're passionate about what you're doing. And Alex, I'm excited for you because I'm sure that she will continue to build and be a great asset to you and the Center for Independent Living. So welcome, Taylor. Oops, sorry, I was muted. So next, under old business, we have the city personnel report with Denise.
Okay, let's see. Good afternoon. Okay, we have 2 new members to the staff at City Hall. Mr. Tom Wardrow is our new HR director, and he will start on Monday, January 25th. And we have an emergency management coordinator, Mr. Sidney Parmeter. I can't say Mr. or Mrs. The Sidney is spelled both ways, so I'm not sure at this point. It could either be Mrs. or Mr.
Yeah. All right, and I just had a question, like what is the emergency manager, is that more for like emergencies in the city or is that internally?
I'm picking it up from personnel, so I'm thinking it's internally as a management assistant or coordinator.
Okay, wonderful.
I got actually a little bit of education about this when the pandemic hit, and just trying to understand. I was on the receiving end of quite a lot of emails sort of reassuring council, like, this is what you can tell residents. And yeah, we legitimately have a city department that is entirely focused on the idea of being prepared for emergencies. So
okay.
The other term, emergency manager, is kind of frightening. I mean, that's sort of the undemocratic idea of like having someone intervene and take over our town. That is not happening.
Emergency manager.
Get clarification.
Well, yeah, there's the emergency manager as in the state definition. And
Yeah, that is not happening in Ann Arbor.
This is emergency management. coordinator. So it may be a slight difference.
Good, good. I appreciate all of you with your clarification. I was like, wow, emergency manager, what do we need that for? Great.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No.
Yeah, what did city council do now?
Well, thank you, Denise, for that.
No
Wonderful.
problem.
All right. So moving forward, we have the chair report. So I'll bring up my notes here. All right. So first announcement I wanted to bring up. So the Commission on Disability Issues meeting that is scheduled for September 15th is actually scheduled on Yom Kippur this year, which is a religious holiday in the Jewish faith. And so I wanted to check and see with the commission, if all of you are still okay to meet on September 15th, or if we should change the date to the following Wednesday, which would be September 22nd, 2021, just so that that particular day can be open for those who celebrate Yom Kippur and can have the opportunity to exercise their. I just want to get your quick brief feedback on that, if I may.
I'm good.
I'm also good with that, Zach. I think, as much as we can to respect and honor other people's beliefs, we should, be accommodating. So I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That we
Okay.
should 22nd.
Okay.
So yeah, Denise, if we can go ahead and if we can adjust the calendar then, so moving the September meeting from the 15th to the 22nd, that would be great. And then if you don't mind as well, just updating our calendar and sending us just an updated calendar just so we all have it, that would be appreciated.
Sure. I'll put it in Legistar tomorrow and they'll generate a notice and then I'll send that to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Great. So let's see. So I had an interesting opportunity, you guys, that was presented to me this week. I got approached by a friend who knows another friend. That's usually how things work in Canada. And they have a very, very neat television network that they're expanding. Now, they're up in North Country in Canada, but they're trying to expand down here. And they're called the Disability Channel. And basically, they're trying to expand and move things to Michigan and in other states. Now, the really cool thing, you guys, about the Disability Channel is that the purpose of this channel, or the plan, if you will, also encompasses employment programs for people with disabilities, specifically teaching them media production tools and different things, which of course I'm a bit biased because I'm a media man, but when I heard about them in the plan for the Disability Channel in Canada and how they are implementing an employment program for people with disabilities in media, I thought that was very, very cool. And so I just wanted to, announce that to you guys. And of course, Alex, you were probably the biggest resource that I was going to reach out to in terms of that, to connect you with that particular contact and then see kind of where you guys could go from there. I know that they're interested in Michigan and they're just looking at, different connections on, how we can all work together and kind of, establish something in Michigan. So I'll send it your way, and then hopefully you and that particular individual can talk and then get more information, okay?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's see. Other than that, you guys, that is really all that I have on the chair report at this time. So that's my brief chair report for today. So with that, I wanted to go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. Now, that's the gardening ordinance. And of course, Commissioner Matthew Solomon was very gracious in taking on the responsibility of reviewing the gardening ordinance as it was referred to us to get a recommendation from the Environmental Commission. And so he had given us some feedback and a revision, but it was less of a, I would say, edit, if you will, or an amendment, and it was more of just sort of changing the language on how that gardening ordinance was worded. Now, I wasn't sure if any of you had an opportunity to review it. I was hoping that Commissioner Solomon was going to be with us this afternoon to be able to explain it further so that we could all make, kind of a collective decision to send this off to the Environmental Commission, just saying, okay, here's our recommendation. But I wanted to know, as a commission, are you guys comfortable with his recommendation and his changing of the language of it more so? And would it be okay then to say, okay, we can have Denise now send forth our recommendation to the Environmental Commission, or would all of you like to wait on this and have Mr. Solomon discuss his changes that he made at the next meeting?
Is it okay if I speak? Matt, or okay, Zach. The only concern I have with that is that the way that the new document reads, because it only incorporates the new language and it doesn't incorporate the old language, I think that might be confusing if we move it on. I think it would be better to, in the past when I've seen language needing to be changed, they've left it as is and then added in a different color or a different font what the new requested language would be. So I think if it's confusing for me, if we send it on to the Environmental Commission, it might be confusing for them as well. But I don't know if there's a time crunch or a time deadline either. So, but I would prefer to wait.
Okay, thank you. And good question. I'm not sure. I know I initially did ask whether there was a time constraint, and the the consensus that I got was that there was not. But I just want to make sure that our referrals are given in a timely manner, and that the other commissions that work with us understand that if they ask for a referral or a recommendation, that they feel confident that we can adequately review what they're asking and get them a good response. So that's all I was kind of alluding to. But I agree with you. I think Denise, if we can follow up with Commissioner Solomon, just mentioning what Commissioner Betts mentioned in terms of, hey, there's a little bit of confusion in terms of the formatting here. We understand that the language would like to be changed, but typically, I agree with you, Kathleen. Typically, when you're changing language, it's more of a annotation or a citing, if you will. You have the language within the old language so that they can understand what the old language was and then what it's being changed to. So if we can, Denise, if we can communicate that to Commissioner Solomon, and then if he can just resend the gardening ordinance with his changes listed within the gardening ordinance as Kathleen described, I think then we can review it and have an accurate a consensus of what those changes are going to be, and then hopefully approve them at the next meeting.
Sure.
Can I make I was curious if I could make a comment. As I read what Commissioner Solomon wrote, it's less that he is proposing the changes and more that he's responding to the changes. So it seems like what's being asked of this commission, and maybe you understood it differently. Maybe I'm wrong about this. What I had understood about what was wanted from this commission was basically, do you think there are any problems with this? And so the Commissioner Solomon kind of like summarized what the changes were and just said, we don't think there's a problem with it. And that's actually all they need. That's what I think that's all they need. Tim, do you feel differently about it? Because Tim
Yeah,
actually has been on a border commission, and I'm
yeah,
not on a border commission except as a liaison.
I was trying to say the exact same thing, that I don't know if you may have accidentally read like a different document or something, but this just seemed to talk about, okay, I looked at these changes and I don't see anything that's super consequential, so okay with it. And I was okay with it as is. I don't think we have to, like, yeah, I mean, this isn't the change itself. This is commenting on the change. And in that respect, I think it's fine as is. If we want to wait for him to come to talk about it a little more, that's okay. But I don't see any problems with it as is.
Because a lot of communication along these lines is literally like, the Transportation Commission recommends moving forward with this. They strongly recommend this, or, like for this thing, Commissioner Solomon basically wrote up an opinion that we could vote up or down that these changes are not going to impact the community of people who have a disability. And so it really is a matter of whether that's the message that this commission wants to send, if we feel like it's not problematic. And I also want to just comment that I don't actually even know who's the council liaison to the Environmental Commission right now, because we just swapped a whole bunch of things around. So I don't know who I would talk to find out if this is even imminently going to be on an agenda to where they're looking for an opinion. But like, I agree with Zach that it is a nice precedent to, like, you ask Kodai for an opinion and we actually give you one. Yeah, so whatever this commission decides about offering an opinion, what Commissioner Solomon has totally wrote up is really pretty adequate. That's really what they want to know.
If that's the case, I thought the original language was fine. I would be fine to vote it in if that's what we want to do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think I misunderstood then just kind of what his feedback was, and so my apology. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine with the original language, and of course, when I read Matthew Solomon's reply in terms of he doesn't really think that it will impact accessibility and things, that's fine. So I'm also okay with just saying that we approve of the language for the gardening ordinance, and it doesn't impede any accessibility or anything like that. So I'm okay then with just giving that particular recommendation to the Environmental Commission. But I would like to just make sure that we all approve it. And then what I'd like to find out though before we approve it. So then I want to know, like, who of us would be responsible for sending that to the Environmental Commission? Would that be, myself, or, would Denise be able to send it off, or, who is the appropriate party that would want to send that recommendation?
I can send it to Sarah Higgins and the Environmental Commission because that's where I received the original request.
Okay, that sounds great. I just want to make sure that that I'm following sort of the correct lines of communication, and I'm not, I guess, just asking someone to forward it off, in the wrong direction or to the wrong person. So thank you, Denise. That would be great.
Sure.
But what I'd like to do now then is I'd like to make a motion then to actually just, approve this and approve the fact that we are okay with saying, no, we recommend this and it's fine. So, if everyone is in accordance with this, if we could all just, is there a motion, first of all, to approve it?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Kathleen will make the motion to approve. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Okay, Larry will second. So all in favor of, approving the gardening ordinance referred by the Environmental Commission, if you could just raise your hand and say aye.
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 Great. So then what I would like to do also, Denise, in terms of sending our feedback, I'd also like to send Matthew, a thank you if we can, thanking him for his work on this and just letting him know that we agreed with his feedback and that we went ahead and gave our recommendation to the Environmental Commission.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Okay. So next, we have the Partners in Access Committee report with Larry Keeler.
That would be wrong. That would be Mr. Alex.
Yeah,
He is chair now.
Right.
I'd be happy to give that.
That was my fault, you guys. I'm so sorry. That was my fault. I should have changed that. I didn't change it. I apologize, Alex.
Oh, no, it's no problem at all. Not much
He's
to
the
report.
man.
Not a whole lot to report this month. Larry and I did meet. We would like to hopefully get a couple of more commissioners to join us if possible, but we do have a few topics I think we discussed at our last commissioners meeting that we're interested in pursuing this year, as well as looking at ways of getting more input from the community and topics that are important to them. I have a half-written email to Councilmember Nelson just to ask some more process, I think, related questions on how to proceed on some things, and so I'll finish that eventually here. But otherwise, we'll keep moving forward. We have I think a monthly schedule set now that I think Denise had sent out recently to everybody, and we're moving forward as that. So that's what we've got this month.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alex. And Denise, I'm so sorry, but if you don't mind, that was my fault. But if we could, I'd make the correction to have the Partners in Access Committee be Alex versus Larry. That would be great as well.
I'll make that change.
Thank you.
Can I chime in, because I might save you some trouble in finishing at least a part of that email, Alex. So I remember I saw this meeting on the calendar and I was like, oh my gosh, we talked about that survey thing, and I never followed up on that. And so this morning before I went to work, I finally sent the email that I could have sent 3 weeks ago. Let me read it now. I heard from the communications department from the city, and this is great. I mean, I think it's kind of awesome. So we do have this city platform for survey, and this is the email I got. Lisa Wandrash said, I can assist the Disability Commission with conducting an A2 Open City Hall survey, which does require registration to complete in order for responses to be mapped by ward or outside the city. If location of respondents isn't relevant to the survey, then another option is a SurveyMonkey survey. I'm happy to work with someone from the commission to develop questions and execute the preferred survey tool. So we have access to this survey system, and it's just a matter, I don't know a whole lot about it. I do, except for the fact that residents have to register with it. So I don't know how many city residents are part of this survey system, but we absolutely can use it and can leverage it to get information from residents of Ann Arbor.
So that's fantastic news. And
I thought that was really
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, because one of the things Larry and I would also like to do is when we're able to start meeting with folks in person again, is figure out ways to do that. But we thought in the meantime that this survey tool did offer an opportunity to get in front of folks. So thank you for following up on that. And I just took the note there of what you had mentioned. So I will leave that out of my email and just touch on a couple of other things. So thank you.
Very cool.
Now, one other question, Councilwoman Nelson, are you notified of when we have our meetings?
Oh, I mean, it's all on the
PIA
Legistar
meeting?
calendar. Oh, when you have your meeting, when your committee has your meetings.
The PIA, yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys are also on Legistar, aren't you?
You should be. I can
I think so.
I can add you.
But we were kind of wondering if you wanted to be notified because you're more than invited to come to our meetings, to join our meetings if you'd like.
Oh, sure.
I think we discussed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, didn't you notify me about the last one? And I actually had a conflict. There was something that was going on that I couldn't make it, but yeah, I would love to be notified because I'm happy to join you if I can.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Thank
Okay.
you.
Alex, I just wanted to add, I think this is an area where we can collaborate, especially, really the comments.
Can't hear you, Rachel.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit, Rachel.
Oh, so I just wanted to add that I really feel like this could be a good area for community engagement committee to partner with PIA and see maybe if this is something that we want to work on, as a effort to see how we can best serve the people.
Okay. Yeah, let's definitely talk offline and see what else we can figure out.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. And thank you, Alex and Larry, and of course, Councilwoman Nelson for all of your work with that. Moving forward to the next piece of the agenda, we have recruiting activity. Larry Keeler.
Well, I have no report. Did nothing. No,
Larry,
no
I tried
recruiting. Go ahead.
I tried to log into Granicus and I couldn't get my login to work, so I couldn't get you a packet. I need to chase that down because I was reading the minutes from last meeting and I was supposed to send you a packet and I failed to do that, so I need to own up to that.
Yeah, I thought we were supposed to do something like that, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah, they had a
So,
holiday
yeah,
in
okay.
between. It was, yeah.
That would be nice if that can happen, then we can work on that.
Okay.
And if you hear of any new people, let me know, and I'll let you know the same if I hear find out anybody who else is interested.
I will.
Well, and then once you guys review these wonderful packets and see the amazing qualifications of these people that have submitted, if you can then just shoot me a quick, text or something and want to discuss kind of the candidates that you feel, would be the best fit. I'm happy to discuss that with both of you as well.
Sure. In the past, we've done that a lot. In the past, the recruiting committee has done that a lot. In fact, the chairman of the commission has not always sat in on them, but they've always gotten a message and a heads up from us so that they can help review the candidates too.
Sure. I mean, feel free to text and bug me. I can be available for that. All right. So next we have the Transportation Commission update with Mr. Tim Hull.
Yeah, so you might see there was some stuff on the agenda December. We talked a little about our annual report and went through a few different updates. And we've got a meeting tonight. That's usually it's right after this, but just if you want to check it out.
All right. Thank you, Tim. I want you to know that, I personally, and I think the rest of us on the commission, appreciate your work that you're doing, on the Transportation Commission and keeping us all, up to date on, what's going on with that in terms of the different transportation routes or the different hour changes or different things. So I really appreciate your work on that. And thank you very much. Okay, next we have the U of M Council for Disability Concerns meeting update. Kathleen.
So there weren't any minutes for January sent out because I have not received them yet. I've already given December's report back in December, but I can give you a verbal report. The meeting wound up being quite short. Our speaker had to bow out, and which would have taken up the bulk of our time. So we did, I believe I shared with you, we have a living document right now. We started discussing in December. We did a look back at 2020, what went well, what didn't go well in the disability community. And we revisited that. We did some additions and had a lot of discussion around that. And that document will remain malleable. We'll be able to still continue to add to the document. And so I will make sure, I don't know that we have to discuss the document, but I think that we might find some interesting things within the document that may help poke our own want and need or desire to become better advocates, or say, yeah, that did work for me, or that didn't work for me. So I'll make sure that for February, that document is shared with all of you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathleen. And thank you again, for all your work that you do with the U of M Council for Disability Concerns, and thank all of your cohorts as well. They do a great job, and we're very grateful for them. So thank you. Next, we have announcements, and I have a couple that I wanted to throw out really quick. First of all, I wanted to announce, and I probably should have said this in the chair report, but I have it on my forefront of thought now. But I'm very excited, you guys, because we did, solidify a quarterly report from the city ADA coordinator and everything. So hopefully you guys saw, that ADA report submitted with the meeting materials. If not, then let us know and we can email you that to you so that you can review that. But the city ADA coordinator will be sending us a quarterly report on different things that they get in from the city and sort of either how that's handled or what they're working on, so that we can be up to date and know what's going on in terms of any disability related issues. So I'm very excited to report that, and I hope that our relationship with the city ADA coordinator can only continue to grow, as well as that communication as well. Other than that, that was the big announcement that I wanted to share, just because I forgot to mention it in the chair report. But are there any other announcements before we get to new business?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I could have mentioned this before, but also the RTA Citizens Advisory Committee is looking for new members, and you can actually participate remotely. I mean, of course you can now, but they even had the option before COVID. So yeah, you're not going to have to go to Detroit even when COVID's over. But yeah, just if anyone was interested, I think it's up on their website until the end of January. And they extended that. The other thing is, I know you're mentioning service changes. I know that AAATA did recently make service changes around the 17th or so. And I heard a few things. It looks like they were relatively minor, though. One thing that the highlight to me is that they changed the schedule on my route on weekends, and it just, the way it works is it actually makes transfers a little bit more inconvenient. But I don't know if Kathleen knows the proper person to talk to about that, because I've sent some messages through their form and have not received much of a response. And
I would start with Latanya Hargrave.
I sent her I did send her an email, and I don't know if she's out this week or something, because I sent it this weekend and haven't heard back.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. To me, she's the starting person, but trying to think what would be the next step. Fixed route, that would be, there's a new fixed route person there. I don't know who it is, but if you call the main office and ask for whoever is now in charge of fixed route, because it was Ron Copeland and he retired last year. And again, I just, off the top of my head, I cannot remember. You can always request to go up higher and see if that will help you. I think everyone there seems to have a good open door policy. So if you're not getting what you need from Latanya, I would see if you can go up.
Yeah, because it was what looks like a minor tweak to add more time to the Route 23 Plymouth, but the result is nights and weekends, almost every transfer requires an 18-minute wait at Blake Transit Center, because it's off cycle of most of the buses. And I actually looked at the way the schedule was done and actually came up with a possible suggestion on how they could combine that run with another route and to possibly alleviate it so you could get an even run.
I know that they're getting ready. They're talking about having public comment time coming up. soon. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the board meetings and the online stuff, but we're looking at increasing services in August. Not totally to pre-pandemic, but getting it up as far as possible, because we're hopeful, because of the vaccines that are coming through, that we're hopeful that everything is going to start sliding down, and that businesses will be opening up, schools will be opening back up in the fall. Again, it's not a given, but it's something that they're aiming for. So I think any feedback that you can give would be positive.
Yeah, I might call into the board meeting now that you mentioned it. Is it tomorrow?
Sorry about that. Yes, it is tomorrow evening. I believe it starts at 6:30 p.m. And there's public comment time at the beginning. And if you can't make the meeting, the full meeting, there's always public comment time at the end of the meeting as well.
Okay.
Well, thank you both for, again, those comments and all you're doing and your work. All right. So next, we have new
Zach,
business.
I have a quick
Oh,
question,
I'm sorry,
Zach.
Alex.
I had something.
Can you remind me where or when we got the ADA report? I feel like maybe I did see it, but I can't find it at the moment. Or maybe if you could just resend it to me, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, Denise, if we could resend that. I can't remember when you had sent that out, but
Yes, it's been a couple of weeks. I can resend it to everyone.
Thank you.
thank you.
Sure.
All right.
I
Thank you.
just wanted to add something, Zach.
Yeah.
Ann Arbor Inclusive is seeking potential guests or topics. So
Can't hear you?
hello?
Okay.
Ann Arbor Inclusive
Okay.
is seeking potential guests or topics. So if this is something you're interested in or you have input on a possible topic, we would really encourage you to reach out to Linda Evans. And her email is linne231@hotmail.com.
Great.
So if we could include her email with that as well.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Rachel, and Linda and Tom, for all the work that you guys are doing for, community engagement and Ann Arbor Inclusive. Doing a great job. Okay. Next, we have new business. Is there anyone that has a point of new business at this time?
Sorry, I've been talking a lot this meeting. I apologize. But one of the things that got me thinking when we were talking about that living document with the University of Michigan, one of the things, I don't know about you guys, but this last year, I've had more access to meetings and seminars and conferences or food because they do curbside pickup. And I'm wondering what we can do as a community or as a commission to encourage our mayor, our councilmen, to encourage businesses once, because we're never going to get back to normal. I don't see what was before coming, but once we're healthier, once things start opening up, I'm very concerned that the strides that we've made for everyone that has benefited the disability community, that we were so advocating for ourselves before the pandemic ever happened. And maybe in some instances we were told, oh, it's not possible, or that's just not something in our wheelhouse or whatever. And we found out during the pandemic, well, guess what? It is possible. We can do those things. And I understand that it was because it was for a broader audience. I mean, we were talking about our whole community instead of just the disability community, but I'm wondering what we can do to advocate for ourselves and for our community members to continue the strides that we've made so that we can continue to have access and continue to enjoy these wonderful services that may have been very difficult for us pre-pandemic.
I agree. I think that's a great point that you bring up, Kathleen. My question then would be, I guess, the same question you have. What is it that we would do as a commission to sort of put that on the forefront of thought of the mayor and city council? Is it looking at particular inclusion ordinances or things? I mean, I'm not sure, how to go about that, I guess, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to think about. I can do some research too on this, Kathleen, and kind of see, what's out there in terms of just making sure, like you said, once the trend starts to go downward, God willing, with COVID-19, what can be done to ensure that, the accessibility and the tech component can still be viable, and people just don't shut it off and say, once again, oh, well, yeah, we were doing that, but you can now come in, so we don't have to do it anymore. Well, no, it still is, and it needs to be a viable option for accessibility. I completely agree with you.
It was just a talking point to sort of get the ball rolling. I don't know, once you find out your information, if you want to kick it to a committee or whatever to continue and have further discussion. But I just really think that, gosh, we've had so much access that to me, that's also been the negative. It shined a light on really what was possible that we were being, maybe denied is too strong of a word, but to me, it felt like denial. So yeah, so thank you for listening.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think neglect, maybe just neglect to seeing, the options as well, but no, completely agree. So yeah, I will do some thinking on this. And then, to your point, Kathleen, I think this would be a great job for a committee as well. So I think this is something that we can talk about, at the next meeting, Denise, if we can put this, as an agenda item to bring up, how can the commission continue to support and promote digital accessibility once the pandemic is subsided, if you will.
Okay,
Um,
okay, no problem.
Thank you. All right. So is there any other new business at this time? All right. So moving forward, we just wanted to talk about the next meeting. So of course it'll be in February, and as of right now, we are still scheduled to meet
Yeah.
on Zoom. Pending anything else, I'm hoping that, Denise, if you hear anything, or Councilwoman Nelson, if you guys hear anything within the city, in the coming, weeks that changes. I don't anticipate that it would, but if it did, I would hope that, we would be notified so that we could evaluate that. But again, we'll plan on doing this digitally and through Zoom, and doing things the safest way possible, and go from there. Right.
What's the date on the meeting?
That date would be, let me take a look.
February 17th.
Hey, thank you. February 17th. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. All righty. Well, that brings us to adjournment here at 5:19 p.m. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. If you guys do have any other questions or points of information, or really have something that needs to be addressed, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Denise, or both of us, and we will get back with you and make sure that that is addressed. Thank you, everyone, for your ability to stay vigilant and stay safe. I wish you all continued success, and we will see you in February.
Take care.
Thank you all.